This is a really interesting question, and there's actually more to it than meets the eye. Is Rocket League dying? The first thing I want to do is dispel this notion that video games are either dead or dying or doing amazing, like that those are the only two options. That's usually the way we think about it. It's either one or the other, and this is mainly because of the hype that surrounds new video games. Those games are just where it's at, they're successful, and everything else is just kind of done. Rocket League has no hype anymore, at least not in the context of like the whole gaming community, so therefore it must be dead. That's the logic. But thankfully that's not how it works. A lot of this is actually new to me, and maybe you were like me and you didn't even play video games really before Rocket League, so it's kind of all you've ever really known. Or maybe you've played other games, but when you found Rocket League, you knew this was going to be your game. And yeah, you'd play other games, but this is where you'd spend most of your time. So it's true that Rocket League is obviously no longer the hyped thing. I mean, it hasn't been for over a year, honestly. But the question is it dying? Like, is it in decline? So I did a little experiment. I went back through a bunch of John Sandman and Woofle's videos. Actually, I mainly looked at Woofle's videos because it's easier to see on his screen. And what I looked at was how many people were generally in game at any given time. So here's some of the videos that I looked at.
3 back with the Rob for some more ranked Rocket League 2v2 getting on.
Like a pro? What happened?
You could take off your name now in the new update.
What?
Yes.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rocket League. We're gonna start this video Challenger Elite Division 3, which is good. And then hopefully we don't lose too many games with these new
twos. We gonna rock some teams. Hopefully, if I win one more right now,
You're
I
in
will
Superstar.
rank.
Sitting here without my champion rank and, you know, just feeling like a chump.
Yeah.
So we're going to get me to champion.
Mike's
Diamond 3s are good in this game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Diamond 3 is the same MMR as old Grand Champions were, and play some goddamn Rocket League. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited.
Honestly, I just play ranked because it's fun and it's like a little more competitive. But
There probably could have been an easier way to get even more accurate numbers, and I realize these things depend on like what time you're playing. You know, Rob and John could have been recording at 3 in the morning. Here's the main point I'm trying to make. Rocket League has always fluctuated between, say, 40 to 50,000 players at any given time to maybe like 200 or 300,000 players. As of late, it kind of peaks around, I'd say, 150,000. And yeah, there have been times where it was higher. I really don't think Rocket League's ups and downs have been primarily tied to hype or to other games gaining popularity. Rocket League's numbers may be a bit lower now since Fortnite came out, but when you look at the periods of time where Fortnite and PUBG really blew up, I don't think it actually had that big of an effect on Rocket League. Rocket League players are sort of a different bunch. Yeah, they may play other games, but the game is just so different and so unique. It's not just another take on shooter games. So I'd attribute the ups and downs more to the hype surrounding content creators. And in 2017 especially, it was around F2. And obviously when F2 just sort of became no more, I think that had an effect on the game and the popularity of it. So my answer to this is no, Rocket League is not dying. It's not going anywhere. I think it's in a lot of ways doing well. Here's the more interesting question. What does Rocket League need to do moving forward? And I've thought about this a lot, and it's crazy to think that maybe someone from Psyonix will hear this. I don't know, probably not. Anyways, there are two main types of Rocket League players, and these are the people that Psyonix really needs to cater to. Yes, there are people who are in between or, you know, sort of both, but not a lot. The first is the casual player. This is the person who cares more about items and crates and other stuff than, say, grinding to sort of rank up. And listen, that's okay. I know I'm not that person, I know most of you aren't, but they're the ones bringing in money for Psyonix. And listen, I get it. Like, I can see the appeal of trading and getting new wheels and decals and just designing cool cars. It's really unique when you compare it to other games where you just get like a skin for your gun. I mean, Fortnite skins are obviously really fun, but Rocket League is super unique in this way. And I'm happy that we have those people. Like, I think it's awesome. And then the other type of player is the hardcore player. So we've got the casual player and then the hardcore player. And their main focus is to improve. They're probably more in tune with what's happening in the esports scene, And I know many of you fall into that category. So these are the two areas that Rocket League really needs to focus on to keep growing. I mean, I think it's possible that they could put out more content or maybe structure updates differently, maybe do it a little more like Fortnite does. I don't know, honestly. I'm sure some of you have thoughts on that. Now, for the hardcore gamers, I think Psyonix needs to keep working on two things. They need to keep working on how the game runs. So servers, just overall performance and optimization, custom training, the tournament features, all that stuff. And then the other thing is esports. Now, I think like so many games, Rocket League jumped into esports way too soon. It seems like newer games that want to grow really live in the shadow of games like CSGO or League of Legends or Dota 2. These are games whose esports scene basically made the game. And so many developers think they need to rush into esports, like that's going to propel the game forward or, have the game be taken seriously. When really many of these games take like 3 or 4 years to even be esport ready, or maybe they're not even really meant to be made for esports. People who do watch esports are used to games like CSGO and League, where everything is so polished, like the whole production and even the system for actually just watching the game. Like Rocket League spectating was so bad in its early days, and I think people got turned off to it. And not just that, but like the level of play. Even at the highest level, it looked like some crappy kids soccer league. Yeah, we Rocket League players thought it was cool because they were obviously better than we were. But let's be real, did this really impress those outside of the game? I don't think it did. I think at this point, the esports scene is ready to grow, and I honestly don't know what they need to do to have it be propelled forward so that more people see it. Anyways, those are my thoughts, and I'm sure there's way more that could be said, and I'm sure you guys have thoughts as well, which I honestly would love to hear. Like, I read all my comments, and I really want to hear what you guys have to say, because I'm super interested in this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace out.